What's going on, guys? My name is Eric. This is kind of introductory video to my YouTube channel. It's going to be mainly focused on the truck. I'm going to do a little bit of how-tos. I don't know a lot about diesel trucks, all right? So I'm not going to, say that I know everything. I come from the BMW world. I have another car that I have another YouTube on, but that's for another video. This is kind of the introductory of this channel where I'm going to be kind of like filming what I do to the truck, what I've done already to the truck, and some overlanding stuff that I want to get into. There's a few more things I need to get before I jump into overland, but I think I got most of the major stuff out of the way. So here we go. All right, guys. So this is my 2012 Ram 2500. And I've been wanting this truck since, I don't know, maybe when I was a kid. I've been a fan of Rams probably my whole life. I'm not saying other trucks aren't good, but this is what I really wanted to get recently. So it is a 6.7 Cummins. It's a straight six, easiest diesel to work on, in my opinion. And I'm probably by far not the only one that thinks this. I got it maybe last year in June, so I'm about to hit 1 year with this truck. It already had this on it. Already had the lift kit, the tires, the wheels. I've done some things to it, pretty recently. And honestly, the transmission went out. I ain't gonna lie. Transmission went out like maybe 2-3 months ago. It has a new one. It is perfectly fine now. Honestly, I probably should have started this YouTube channel doing that and then some, because I also have I put the fast system in it. Like, there's some stuff I've already done to it. Ultimately, this truck, I want it to be an Outlander rig. Right now it's a workhorse, so I am working out of it. And it doesn't disappoint. It's a diesel. It's a Cummins. Yeah, just the Cummins it's a Cummins, dude. Anyways, but yeah, so the truck has pretty much, like, now it has 173,000 miles. I got it when it had 163,000 miles. So I've only put 10,000 miles on it, which is pretty good for owning it for a year. I used to not drive it a lot because I have the other car, which is my BMW. But now, this is my daily now. So I don't really drive the BMW anymore. But yeah, some things I could go over with this truck. It is a Gen 2 swap truck. So it's fully, it went on a diet. It came like that. It had already been on a diet, so I'm glad it did, because these diesels really need that. But restrictions. Anyways, I'm gonna show you what the Gen 2 swap Cummins on this looks like, and here we go. I know it's dirty. I gotta get a new one or I gotta clean it. But this is the Gen 2 swap Cummins. I had got it with it already installed. There's a few things I would have done to it if I had installed it, like the T6 turbo blanket. I heat wrapped the downpipe. I probably would have done this. I recently did the coolant bypass. From what I've read, these are good if the stock turbo is still on, because they say that cylinder 6 gets too hot. But I wanted to do it just as a preventative. And I've noticed it already in coolant temps that it's already gone down. So, the cooling on this thing is remarkable. It stays cool and happy. I did have a billet valve cover. The only reason I took it off is because it had so much blow by and it blew out the rear main seal. So I took it off. If you guys have any input on that, please let me know. It could be because the catch can I was using, or I don't know. It does not have blow-by on the engine when I have this on. But when I had the aluminum, the SpedLab billet aluminum valve cover for this, it did have a lot of blow-by. So that's why I took it off. But now when I did the transmission, I replaced the rear main seal, because who doesn't do a rear main seal when you do a transmission? Everybody should do it. So that's done. That's a nice preventative. I might cut it because it seems a little long. I might cut it shorter just so everything is tight, and I don't want it too close to the manifold, but whenever I have some time, I'll do that. Like I said, I painted the turbo housing, front housing red, kind of to match the truck. I had to get a new coolant tank reservoir. It started leaking. Everything else, you know, the truck came with. I added some lights. Added some lights last year. It's got a AFE intake horn that came with it. When I did get the truck, I noticed that it had the stock heater plate. From my research, and all you guys out there that you know these trucks, they said that it has the potential to for the nut to break and completely blow this engine. So I did not want to do that. I didn't want to go through that because this truck has already head studs on it. Oh, can't even see it over here. I'll show you in a second. This truck has head studs already. It's head studded. So I did not want to take a chance and ruin this. I replaced this because, dude, this thing was ginormous whenever we did the transmission. There you go. You can kind of see the head studs right there. So yeah, boys, this thing is studded. Obviously, when I did the valve cover, I replaced the valve cover gasket. So I did that. Pod lights. Yeah, so I mean, it's got a lift pump, fast. It did have an air dog, so it did have an air dog in it, and my own fault when I did the heater grid swap, I didn't see that there's these nuts on the injectors on this side where the injector rails go. I did not see that maybe one or two were loose, and for the life of me, this truck would not start, and I thought that the air dog went out, right? So I kept bleeding it, well, me thinking I was bleeding it, right? Like I said, this is my first Cummins. Me thinking that I was bleeding it right and it was being done right, and I didn't really catch that small, like even air leak going into the fuel line. This truck would start and then die. Start and then die. Start and then die. So I was like, whatever. This was last year. So I bought the fast system, threw it on. I still have the air dog on it. I gotta take it off whenever I get a chance. But I thought the air dog went out, and I couldn't get a replacement that same day, and I wanted to kind of just get it done and, you know, replace it. So I put the fast, it did the same thing. So I was like, wow, okay, well, I just wasted, you know, $500 on the fast, which is a pretty good deal. No, I think I paid $400. It was brand new. Local guy had it, and he wouldn't budge anymore on price, which I don't blame him. So I went and got that, installed it, came back and installed it, did the same thing. So I was like, okay, there's something I'm missing that I'm overlooking. Fast forward, I go back, I take off the fuel injector rails, and I started to notice that I started spitting those things that I mentioned that they're on the injectors. I don't know what they're called. I'll probably look it up and I'll probably throw it in the description or something. But they were loose. So I was like, let me tighten those up, put everything back together. Voila, it started. So I was like, yeah, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to learn. I went through it when I was, you know, working on my BMWs. You got to start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. So I did that, and yeah, truck runs amazing. Truck runs amazing. I took care of all the oil leaks that it had gotten after the valve cover. It doesn't mean that it came from the valve cover itself. It's just it happened right after I did that. Blew out the rear main seal, put this back on. The dipstick tube ended up getting a hole, so I'm like, wow, what else? That was another thing, man. The bottom of that dipstick tube was so rusty. It took me no jack stands, no lift, nothing. It took me a couple days to even get all that crap off into that from that hole. That's pretty much it. I'm not, it's not heavily modified. The truck isn't heavily, that I did is not heavily modified. Like I said, it went on a diet. It's tuned, deleted. That's probably the reason why the transmission blew in the first place. It's a dial tuner. Once you start reading up on these, you kind of see the pattern where people add the dial tuners and the transmission starts blowing. So I did that. It lasted for a while until I only had 1 through 3. 4, 5, and 6 went out. 4 went out fully on the highway one day after work. So it was time to park it and get a transmission. Yeah, so I guess that's just a recap or the introduction to this YouTube channel, where I guess we just work on this Cummins and see where we can go, because the plan is, like I said, to do an overland build on this. I kind of want to get to the point where I can take my son camping, fishing, and then some buddies. Buddies have trucks. We can go camping, fishing, all that. So that's probably what I'll be doing with this channel. I think this Sunday we're gonna go fishing, so I'll be able to film that one. That'll be the first, YouTube and all that. So I don't mean to bore you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, and give me some recommendations on what I can do to this truck. All right, thank you guys. Peace.